What's up, people? I am wearing sunglasses because the sun's in my fucking face. But other than that, I am back. We are continuing on with the Nightmare series. We are reviewing Nightmare 5: The Dream Child. This is a weird fucking movie. So I watched this one. It was either last no, it was this morning. I watched it this morning for the review. Um, One thing I never realized: only like three fucking people die in that movie. Never realized that. It's a weird fucking movie. Like the way Freddy comes, it's even weirder than the last Latin 4, where he comes back through fire pits. So this is set a year after 4. I'll say this: Alice is a little bit better in this film. She's got a little bit more charisma because I found her boring as fucking 4. So actually, I'll give it this. That's the one positive I will give this movie. It's not as bad as Freddy's Dead, which I will get to next week. This movie's pretty bad though. Like it continues jokey Freddy, and honestly, kind of gets worse. And unfortunately, Robert Englund considers this one his favorite one to do that he did of all the movies in it. Not the first one, not even the third one. This one is what he considers his favorite. Because I think he likes Freddy doing weird shit. I personally, like we talked about yesterday, I don't like Goofy Freddy, but yeah, like I said, the one positive is Alice is a bit better of a character. Like she's still, I wouldn't put her like as one of my favorite Nightmare protagonists, but she gets a lot better than she was in 4. She's not boring in this one. So this is set a year after 4. Dan from the last movie and Alice are dating now. Um, and their friend group is we have Greta, we have Mark. So those are the two really, and Yvonne. So you got 3 new characters. Everything seems fine, but then she starts having. This is also where they do kind of go more like 3 gave you a taste of what happened with Amanda Kruger and the story. You kind of see it this time around in this one. So and on her way to work, Alice is back at the asylum where she witnesses Amanda Kruger basically giving birth. Freddy comes out. It's a fucking weird one. Wait. So he goes back to the church where Freddy lost the last movie and basically goes into the remains and reforms. Um, so she tries to contact Dan. This is like the one really good kill in the movie where Dan's driving his motorcycle and Freddy basically takes it over, and the special effects are really nice for it, and then basically kills him and causes him to crash. Good death scene, but this is like the only really cool death in the movie. Um, I will admit, like the special effects were nice, and like this movie is interesting. It's like I don't hate it. I actually, in a way, I like it a little bit more than 4, in the sense like at least Alice is a better character, and Freddy he does get jokey in this movie, but it's not as bad in 4. And my God, 6 is where it just goes full retard. So he's jokey in this, and there is one really gross scene, but not in the right way. So he kills Dan. Um, Out Freddy basically taunts her with Dan's body. Then basically it turns out she's pregnant. Okay. We meet a young boy Jacob. He's like the worst actor in the movie. As usual, kid actors just can't cut it. So um and it's revealed that in actuality that there was no little girl, but um so Basically, she tells her friends about Freddy's story. This is where we get this really gross scene. Because Greta's a model, so you know, like the whole puking issue. So Greta ends up falling asleep, and Freddy basically, basically, Freddy starts stuffing her with food until she dies. I do think it's creepy in a way, and it's gross, but it's also like I didn't need to see that. It's not. And then they had to put Freddy in a suit also, so it just makes it look really fucking cheesy. It's just. It was a. I guess it was a kind of a good death scene, and like it had good special effects, but my god, man, this movie is fucking weird. Like, so that happens. Um, So Mark nearly gets killed. He's a comic book fan. That's gonna be important because there's a kill. Um, so Freddy is feeding Jacob his victims to make him basically alive. It's movie is really makes no sense. So Yvonne. So yeah, we get more about Freddy's backstory. Well, not Freddy's backstory. His mom's backstory. What happens to her? Then Freddy um, nearly kills Yvonne, but Alice saves her. Alice is a bit more charismatic in the movie, and they do try to give her this like they want to make her seem like she's crazy. So like I think if they explored that element more, I think it would have been a better movie. So Mark falls asleep and gets pulled into a comic book world where Freddy he basically gets formed as Super Freddy. Mark tries to fight back, but Freddy ends up killing him. It's a okay death scene in terms of like it's a good dream sequence. It's still a bit cheesy, especially the Super Freddy shit. Like I don't like jokey Freddy. It takes me out of the movie every time. So she has to go save her son. I don't know how. She goes to a maze. Freddy confronts her, and they all basically use their dream, including Jacob, use their dream powers to beat Freddy. And I don't know. And the film ends. Another tease that this movie's horrible. It's not as like four. I'll say has better dream sequences, but Alice is a better character in this movie. But this movie all around is still bad. The Jacob kid, they don't even like explain. It. Freddy's a super jokester in this. Like even just explaining this plot, it's not as bad as Freddy's Dead, which we will get to. But this one is pretty bad, and I don't. Freddy's not scary in it. Like I said, pretty much after three, Freddy's no longer scary. He kind of just feels like he's just there to make jokes. And there's only three kill scenes, and the only really good one was Dan's, just because of like the special effects and on that shit. Like I said, I'm gonna reiterate, Alice was a better character in this. She's not fucking boring like she was in four, but the other characters are just there. It doesn't feel like the score isn't even that good anymore. And this film came out a year after four, so this came out in '89. Should have mentioned that earlier. Um, the Amanda Kruger stuff was interesting, um, but yeah, it's a pretty bad film. And out of 10, like a five, I would give this. I mean, I don't. This is another four through six. I often don't watch. So I mainly, like I said, watch the first three, then Freddy's, uh, then Wes Craven's New Nightmare, and then Freddy vs. Jason. That's my five. There's only five Nightmare movies to me. This one just doesn't make sense, and they don't even really elaborate on Jacob and his whole point. The maze thing was cool in the final act, but it's a fucking weird movie. And like I said, Freddy's The Super Freddy. If okay, if I'm gonna say my favorite dream sequence in this film, I guess it was Super Freddy. Even if it was goofy, it was kind of unique. I liked the how they made the world look like it was like a comic book, you know, and all that. So that's the one positive, but everything else, it's goofy. Some of Freddy's lines in this just Freddy's not scary. There's no moment where I feel like Freddy is scary and everyone's in danger. Uh, nah, man. We're getting pretty. We're in the shits here with this franchise, pretty much. Because after this is where it goes full retard with Freddy's Dead, which I will get to next week. Hold on, let me see. This one. I know this is like a bit of a shorter review. It's just there's not a lot to say to this movie. Like, it's not great. It's not good. And Jokey Freddy sucks. There's not a lot to say to this movie. So I think I can see some people saying it's kind of middle of the road, but I think it's not even that. So this movie sucks. Like I said, out of 10, I give it a 5. Um, my next video will be tomorrow. We will be discussing the Godzilla series. Will actually be some will be positive. That'll be a fun video. And then on Thursday, we're gonna be reviewing. We're gonna start a Child's Play franchise review with the original Child's Play. But other than that, that's enough for this review. This movie sucks. The only positive is Alice, and I mean, if you're a nightmare, if you want to get into the franchise, I guess watch it. It's only an hour and a half. It's not too long. It's not the worst movie, but I mean, like if you get into the franchise and you want to like get through it the right way, I would say watch it. But realistically, just watch the first three mainly, and then New Nightmare, and then Freddy vs. Jason. But other than that, guys, take one more hit, and then we're out. All right, guys. I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace.